Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams to break down what just happened last night at Summerslam, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we take no nights off. And obviously, you can't have Pitts and Sara's wrestling show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hey,
Hero, why did it cut off again? What's going on there?
they're cutting his mic too early.
Yeah, it's pissing me off, man.
What's up to David?
Hey,
And we already having a little bit of a comment already. Was so stupid. Not just stupid, so stupid, Sara.
Yeah.
Which will, I mean, I feel like that will come up in conversation today. And then we have Bernard. What's up? Best team. Love you. Oh, there you go. Right back at you, big guy. Oh, we love to see it. Sara, I'm in a good mood. All right. Yesterday was a long day. I'm not going to lie. Waking up at 4, working 13 hours, and then coming home to watch SummerSlam. And
yes,
not only to sit in that chair right afterwards, I did do the double viewing. You know, you know me, I like cheering for both sides. So I gave Collision some Bezos TV action. However, I'm not going to say I watched the entirety of it. I have to watch it after this. But I wanted that fact that I could double screen wrestling. And it was just like, that was a really cool moment because I feel like that's something a lot of people wish they could have done a few years back.
there was someone at SummerSlam who was watching Collision on their phone. And I'm like, it's a picture going around on Twitter right now. Someone took of someone in front of them. And I'm like, and this person paid for floor seats and they're like holding up their phone so they can see CM Punk. And I'm like, dude, you paid so much money to be at SummerSlam and you're trying to watch Collision at the same time. What is wrong with you?
That is a whole lot of nonsense.
Yes.
If you ask me.
Yes.
Oh man, but it was great. I mean, not what I expected, to be honest with you. But to me, it was a really good pay-per-view for this era. Like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best one ever, but I thought it was a very good one, especially with how the outcomes happened and certain comments made in the press conference.
Yeah, I think it's weird, the reactions to it. I felt like obviously there were some results that I'm mad about, and I made sure I let Twitter know that I was pissed about this and I was pissed about that. But I think, there were some spots that weren't great, but that's kind of how it is every pay-per-view anyway. Like, there's always going to be a spot where you're like, or like a result that you're like, what the fuck, So it's like, overall, I felt like it was a good pay-per-view. So I was kind of confused why there were some people who thought it was really bad. But I think those are people who are like getting their feelings too involved in it because it's like, oh, I really wanted so and so to win, so now I think the show sucks. And it's like, okay, like I wanted Finn to win, but I wouldn't say the entire show was horrible because he lost. So I think that's kind of what was more so going on, because I don't really see what the problem could be. I don't know.
I don't see any issue other than my personal bias. Happy to see. There we go.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ace. What's up, David?
I honestly, other than my own personal biases for certain outcomes, from a down the middle wrestling fan standpoint, I thought it was a fantastic show. Well done. Only one bathroom break match, pretty expected. And the finish to the pay-per-view legitimately popped me. I had no idea, did not expect this. And then the comments made in the press conference about it, I have no idea what the hell is going to happen with it. So, all right, let's just get right into it, Sara. Let's start things off here.
Okay. So we're going to go in order of the show. because that is the easiest way to do things.
Easiest way to do it.
So we were correct that Logan Paul and Ricochet would start the show. And I've seen, again, this is another match where people had like conflicting reactions to. I felt like it was a really good match. I saw beforehand that Ricochet and Logan had worked together, whether it was at the PC or whatever, to try and get some collaboration on certain things that they wanted to do in the match. So I respected Logan for doing that, because this could have been a match full of that botched Spanish Fly, and like that could have been from like the entirety of the match. So I respected that he was like, no, okay, like whether it was his idea or not, I don't care. It's the fact that he agreed to do that. I thought this match was cool. It was like very much what I was expecting. There was going to be a lot of really cool spots, and we predicted that Logan was going to win. I believe you did as well, right? Did you believe? No, did you say Ricochet?
I said Ricochet.
Oh,
I really didn't think.
So I got 6 out of 8 right then. Okay.
I really did not expect them to put Logan Paul over. I really didn't. But
yes. The way it ended was like A++. Like if Ricochet was going to lose, that's how I want him to lose, because I would have been more mad had they just had him lose clean. Because to me, it's like, then what are you doing to Ricochet? So that got me excited.
Yes, the whole match I thoroughly enjoyed, for the sheer fact that you knew it wasn't one of a storyline you want to see in the future. You just wanted these two guys to get in a fight, which I've been saying for weeks now.
Yeah.
And the way they did it with bringing back certain moves, I mean, with the call to Hogan into the moonsault, the people's moonsault, like just that shit was unbelievable and so entertaining to watch. But yeah, that's, if you're gonna have Logan Paul win matches, it needs to be because of his henchmen or because he wins as a heel. You can't have him go over clean against guys like Ricochet, because that makes no sense, you know. But and that's where he becomes a little bit more interesting as that influencer character. And I mean, god damn, Sarah, I tweeted this. He has no business being that good in this ring. Like I really want to call him out for so many things, but I can't, because I'd be a liar.
I know.
I really would.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, is like he didn't grow up a wrestling fan, like we've talked about before. So it's not even like he's kind of naturally good because he grew up watching it. So he's familiar with this move or all of those, or he was a huge fan of this wrestler, so he wants to replicate, what he did. It's like, no, he's just a really athletic dude, and is apparently just naturally gifted at doing wrestling, which is crazy, because there are plenty of people who want to be professional wrestlers and they just don't have that inclination to be able to do all of that, so the one thing I did think was kind of annoying was Michael Cole was being kind of annoying in this match because he kept trying to like put Logan over and be like, oh wow, he's really into his wrestling history, doing a callback to Hulk Hogan. I'm like, he didn't even know what the fuck the what chant was. He is not doing anything.
He may have done a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe, but let's be real, okay? One, he unlikely that he sat there and watched tape on Hulk Hogan. Let's be real. Two, you don't have to be a huge wrestling fan to know some of the moves that like Hulk Hogan did. Like Hulk Hogan was everywhere in the 80s.
One-dimensional. Like,
it's like you don't need to know that he was like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to know about these random things. So it's like I that was the only one thing that I was like, Cole, you don't usually annoy me recently, but here you go, so yeah, but I am interested to see where this progresses, because obviously it's going to progress.
Logan Paul better not steal Ricochet, girl.
Oh, he kissed his fiance mid-match.
No, do you not get? Corey Graves was making comments.
Oh, I know, I was like, he
that's
literally kissed his fiance in the match. Like,
yeah, that's why. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Oh my, it was so funny.
It's just
I mean, that's just the great commentary.
um.
Oh, it was incredible. So
anyway,
funny.
So is there any comments that we need to get to, or should I just move on?
He said that one. Ace Dern said, "Love your show. Please don't stop."
Thank you.
You need a better background, more like Sara. Hang those belts in a good light. We're working on it. And the same mics. To be honest, this mic is very good.
Mine is too. Mine is better than yours.
I don't think it's better. I think it's just as good.
It sounds better.
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. People love that mic, but I love my mic.
Yeah, it's the mic of the champ. Come on, people. Keep going, Sara. True.
Thanks.
It was a big deal of Jake Paul too. He won his fight.
I don't even want to talk about Jake Paul.
We don't talk about Jake Paul on this show.
Yeah, no, Jake Paul rigs the fight, so I don't want to talk about it.
Well, that's his it's a little dash of sports entertainment in there.
Yeah, well,
there you go.
You can't be trying to come off like you're a real legitimate boxer and you pay off your opponents and you pay off the guys that are like 15 years older than you, have never been boxers, and like, I'm not impressed that you beat a guy who lived his entire career in the UFC. I'm sorry, I'm not. He's 40 years old and you're like, oh, I beat him in a boxing match which he had no familiarity with. But again, I don't want to talk about it. So
yeah, there you go. I don't either. So boom, segues are weird.
Yeah, so Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar was second, which was a little bit of a shock, but I was fine with it because, you know, the first match was fine, and then I was like, okay, we're getting a good match second. And I have conflicted feelings on this. I'm glad that Cody won, which I was right because
conflicting. Yeah, I'm interested why.
Okay. So, okay, of course I the good things, obviously. Entertaining match. Cody won. I loved the ending, which was not scripted. Cody had no idea that was going to happen. Brock just did it organically. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did.
Triple H,
I know.
Yeah, Triple H addressed. No, I'm saying, did you see Triple H talk about it?
I saw the comments that what Triple H said. Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Triple H said that. Yeah, that was just like Brock doing something Brock wanted to do. So there was no plans for that to happen. So I thought that was cool. It scared me at first though, because I was like, I was
getting really scared that he was about to hit with another R5. I'm like, come on. I
was like, oh no.
End this.
So I loved that didn't happen. So the reason I have conflicted feelings is only because this was such a like typical Super Cena match, like down to the T. Okay, like Cody is getting his ass beat the entire match, and then all of a sudden he has like superhuman strength and he comes back and beats Brock Lesnar. So that was one thing where I was kind of like, you know, but then it's kind of like, so you have that, but then I also didn't really like that he was getting completely dominated because he already beat Lesnar once. So it's like, you knew that he didn't get dominated in that match. So it's like, then we're seeing the polar opposite now. But I guess like I'm fine with this. I mean, I'm fine with the fact that he won, but I want to see more from this. Do you want me to go into what I want to see, or do you want to talk about it first? Like, talk about your feelings first.
I want to talk about my feelings first because I thought this was very well done. You know, I was trying to figure out why they were doing the ring count out. You know what I mean? Like why he just kept throwing him out of the ring. But
and the stairs wasn't a DQ. Using them as a weapon.
You don't need. That's the thing that I loved, actually. I liked about that because we didn't know what the stipulation was. It was like, is it no DQ? Like if he pulls out a chair and hits him, but the Steers had a metaphor in their feud. So I was
I know. Yeah, but I just thought people were confused because they were like, what's going on? How is that not a DQ?
Yeah, they were very confused about that. And it's what was it? The call. So I was reading Twitter, and actually Bully Ray was commenting how it was like a shade to Rocky, and I love the Rocky movie. So if that's what they were kind of going for, I love that element. It makes sense why he threw him outside the ring, so it could get like a legitimate 10 count. And I like kind of like that. It could, you could have made a last man standing or whatnot, but and you could have done a lot of different match types, but they kind of combined it into one with the no DQ, last man, all that. But no, I loved how Cody, they beat him down and then he came back and beat the Beast, because to me what that says is, okay, Brock's done. Where Cody is getting a new feud. He's going in some sort of direction towards the WWE Championship. Maybe he's gonna go after another championship. Maybe he wants to face Gunther for a couple matches, maybe not win the Intercontinental, or if he's facing someone else. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can go with this, and that's what I like, because you need to keep him fresh in feuds that don't involve him going for the title right now. They need to be feuds that are just building him up and getting him adjusted to, okay, maybe I can't just win the Rumble and get my title shot and win. Maybe I need to, just wrestle all year, every day, whatever, and then get my chance, to the whatever. So I love that element of it. And I love the fact that Brock did that. The respect thing, because that's where Brock is in his career. Brock is done. He's made his money. He is in WWE now with a position where he can be himself. He can work with Triple H to see how they can get the most potential out of him, and not just this bulldozing beast with no personality. And Brock has a personality. He can get on the mic. It may be a rough promo, but that's what he's going for, because you don't expect Brock Lesnar to be a poet, or Mr. LA Knight on the mic. So I really enjoyed this match, and I really am just happy to see Cody win and get that payoff, get that moment, because it's so well deserved. So well deserved.
So my thing is, like, of course I'm a Cody fan, so I'm excited. I'm excited that he won. Yeah. But when I'm thinking about the bigger picture, so if we're thinking about finishing the story, so right now we're writing the book, and people were saying, somebody posted it was like a wrestling account on Twitter, saying, I think that he's only lost 2 matches since he's been back. And so when I saw that, obviously we knew that he hadn't lost a lot of matches, so I didn't need a statistic to tell me it's only been 2. I'm even surprised it's that many, if we're being honest. But I want to see like more adversity for him. And so if we're gonna go from him defeating a physical specimen of Brock Lesnar, and so he had this like strength adversity, I kind of want to see the mental adversity to come his way, which is where Bray Wyatt comes into the picture, because I think that there are mixed feelings about him beating Brock the way that he beat Brock, just because of how the match went. And obviously it is nice to see that he didn't just like dominate the whole match and then win. And by him, I mean Cody.
Yeah. I agree.
So he was beaten down, but then it is, like I said, it is the prototypical John Cena, Super Cena match. So that it is what it is. But I want to see him have more adversity between now and when he gets the championship, because otherwise it just feels like too easy. He came back and he's just like winning and winning and winning. And it's like, okay, so if we're like, he wants to finish the story, he wants to win the championship that has eluded his family all of these years. Well, he can't be winning, and then just ends up getting an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him have like a bit of a roadblock. And I think that if we're not going to go in the physical way of a roadblock, now, I mean, I can't imagine there's not that many other people on the roster that are more physical than Brock Lesnar. I would love for it to be Bray Wyatt, which we talked about, because of their history, their connection. And I forgot the hugest connection between Bray Wyatt and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was Husky Harris's NXT pro. I totally forgot about that. When he was dashing Cody Rhodes and they paired him with Husky Harris, which was like, he was disgusted by him, obviously, because he was like, ew, he is a man out of shape and he's husky. Yes. So I forgot about that. So that is like a huge thing too. So I think if we're going to move on from Brock Lesnar and just try and think of like which way he should go in, I would love to see a Wyatt family version of Bray Wyatt, or I guess another sort of version in that way, and have him just manipulate and essentially like mind fuck with Cody and have that type of adversity, because I think that is super interesting. And it's like, okay, he can't not match up with Bray in the ring, even though Bray is technically bigger. It's like, no, he can hang with him in the ring. It's not the same way as like Brock, but can he handle and overcome the mental aspects of what Bray would inflict upon him? I feel like that would be a really cool direction to go in. And then it's kind of an unexpected twist in his road to the title. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
No, you're right. No, but and that all can still happen. Let's not just throw that away like it's never going to happen. That could still happen, and that could actually be Bray's first feud when he's clear. Problem is, he's not clear right now. So my mind goes, all right, well, what's the best way to keep him fresh and keep him ready so that when Bray's ready to come back, he feuds with Cody in this element, and we get this feud between them before he makes that next step to the title. And why not have him feud with guys like, on Raw, different people of the roster. I just, why can't I think of any? Like maybe Ricochet for like a few matches, not like a feud, but like, it's like, hey, you're incredible in the ring. Two faces, like, I want to get in the ring with you because I want, like, whatever the case may be. And then that's what kicks off his next feud with another heel or a bigger name, just little shit like that to keep him fresh so that when he's ready for that big feud, months and months of, rivalry, he's ready. It's not only he's ready for it, but you forgot about Bray in that element. And it's like, okay, oh, I do remember he beat Brock. That was the physical, like all that. He's got to really, face his demons, we'll say, because that's the one thing you have to do to become a champion is be physically fit to go up against anybody, but also be able to face your demons at any chance and point.
Yeah, I don't know who is next in line for Cody, and so we'll have to see. That's why I just felt like it was like the perfect opportunity for Bray, because Cody's going to be so happy that he took down Brock, that he, won 2-1. He's done with the beast. He got the seal of approval from him in front of everybody in the ring afterwards. So he's going to be celebrating. And I would just love to see Bray just ruin that immediately. Like I said, I would love for him, like all the lights to go out and Bray is just sitting there in the rocking chair. I would die. I would literally die. Yeah.
That could still happen. That could still happen.
It can, but I'm saying like tomorrow is what I'm saying. I want to see it like next. I don't want to deal with all of the filler stuff. That's what I'm saying. To me, it makes the most sense to do that now. But anyway,
why? He needs a little bit more. Like he needs that because he lost from he was down, and then the next thing he did was go up against Brock Lesnar. Yes, you got to think of it from a bigger picture standpoint. Like a lot of
I literally am thinking from a bigger picture standpoint, hence why I'm saying Bray Wyatt.
Yes, but that's not like he's not ready now.
I just think that it makes most sense in my opinion, because there's no one else that's ready in line. I don't want to see a bunch of matches with some random dudes.
What if Cody faced Damian Priest for Money in the Bank? It's like, I'm ready. I want your Money in the Bank. I don't know. I'm just going crazy now with thoughts. That's not like that.
That's okay. Let's move on.
Moving on.
So we had the SummerSlam Battle Royal, and all I have to
Sponsored by
say
Slip
is,
Jim.
Whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game.
I mean,
let me talk to you.
I was obsessed. Everything about this. Also, Austin Theory was in this match.
Yeah, I did not want to. I didn't know that.
Someone asked Triple H. Did you see that? It was, what's his name? It's like a Bill Apter. I guess he's like a big wrestling journalist or whatever. He straight up asked Triple H, like, why was Austin Theory in this match? And Triple H was like, to win a battle royal, probably.
Fuck, you know what? Fuck, I'm in it. I can't disagree with it with a man like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I fucking love that answer.
Yeah.
Great.
And what I love is that I think it was only LA Knight and AJ Styles got actual entrances. Everyone else came out together. I think they're the only ones who got actual entrances, which I thought it was kind of funny. Like, I mean, it was even funny that AJ Styles got one because you knew why LA Knight was getting one. Come on, like.
Do you think that's why they did it so that he wouldn't be the only person with an entrance?
Well, I feel like but I felt like they almost should have done more because I don't know what was shown because I have Peacock Plus, Premium Plus.
You have Premium Plus?
Yeah, so I don't know what
you
guys.
Bougie bitch.
So my mom pays for it.
Because so I'm getting the bullshit regular commercials, and you're just living up there with like VIP access to shit. Oh, yes. You suck.
So they were showing, I think at that time it was like a Becky Lynch video, which I was like, okay, this is strategically placed. Like you're kind of trying to suck up to her because she's not happy that she was booted off the show. But okay. So it was quite a while. It was like a few minutes. Like it was like, oh, Becky's like climbed to the top, basically. And I was just like, it felt very random. So they had plenty of time to have multiple people come out, because they don't have to play their music as all the way till the time that they get to the ring. They generally don't do that. So if they didn't want it to be super obvious that it was going to be LA Knight, I mean, they could have done that. But at the end of the day, I don't give a shit because it was LA Knight. Okay. So
happy
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited for him. Like, he's not a softie or anything. He's not like Cody Rhodes when you watch him in an interview and you're like, oh, Cody, you're not like, oh, LA Knight, but like just knowing how long he has, just knowing how long he's worked and, finally gets his moment in a very pointless battle royal.
Oh, it was so pointless, but it didn't matter. It was the LA Knight battle royal.
And he's now working with Slim Jim. So I guess that's
when that commercial came on right after it, I actually laughed out loud. I laughed out loud, did my usual, oh my God, and just like the hands up. I was like, there's no way they're doing this. And it popped so hard.
What is hilarious is someone asked him kind of like about it. And LA Knight was like, yeah, so I won the battle royal. I went to the back. I recorded the commercial and then they showed it right away. He was like, it was magic. Like, I don't know how they did it so fast.
Dude,
like,
kayfabe's not dead with him.
Yeah, it's not. So, yeah, I was really happy for him. And that crowd went absolutely nuts. The movement, who we will be speaking to this week.
We are. Spoiler alert. There we go. A little announcement.
So he tweeted out a video comparing Cody's reaction to winning the Royal Rumble and the reaction to LA Knight winning the Battle Royal. And I think it's pretty clear that LA Knight got a louder pop for winning a pointless Royal Rumble or a pointless Battle Royal than Cody did at the Royal Rumble. It was louder, I think.
I will have to check that out following the show because
it's insane. It's insane.
I told my dad in the pool today that this man, because I got one of the shirts and I have not got a confirmation if it's shipping or not. He's like, oh, you should get your money back. He's getting worried. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not, because it's legitimately one of the fastest selling. Like, he's sold out of almost every color.
I know.
Then, so I was like, oh, it's sold out. They'll send it to me when they send it to me. It's WWE shop.
Yeah.
So then I tell him that he has 13 of his 15 items are the ones that are just sold out complete, whatever. And he's the highest seller of all, grossing, whatever. And the other 4 in the top 5 have over 150, 200 items that you can purchase, where he only has 13 and he's selling this much. So, like, that is so telling. And even to a man that has no idea what wrestling is really all about, and him even going like, oh, well, that's a lot. It's like the impact he's making already. It's insane.
I know. It's really exciting. So, this was basically created so that he could win. And it's frustrating because it's like, it would have been cooler if you just actually had him involved in some sort of feud and he could have a match. But at this point, I'm just going to take what we get. I don't feel super optimistic about what they're going to do with him. But now that we're kind of out of the build up to a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam, I'm hoping that we can kind of see the path that they're going to take him. But at this point, I'm just excited. I was very excited. I'm very happy for LA Knight.
What if Santos gets squashed by Theory and LA Knight comes out and is like, yeah, you think that's a match? Nana!
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Is I love that. Yeah.
So, moving on to Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. No, don't leave.
No, I thought this was a bathroom break. I'm sorry.
No.
Well, the fan. That's still Sarah. The fans, my peeps, they were walking in the back. Sorry. You know what? You're right. I should stay and do the show. That's right. But
okay.
I'm just following the peeps. My bad.
So this is kind of what I expected, though. I even predicted that this was going to be a match that did not resonate with wrestling fans because MMA matches are so slow and so much different than professional wrestling that I just wasn't sure that this was going to go over well, and it didn't. People were leaving. They were going getting food. They were going to the bathroom. Boring chants were ringing out throughout the match, which I felt kind of bad for, just because it's like this style of match made sense for their story. And I felt like it could have been good, but it's not. It's, when you're a professional wrestling fan, you're watching for action.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they aren't going to have a full MMA match. They're not really going to punch each other in the face. And
but they threw a lot of body shots in there, which I thought.
Well, they're not gonna. Well, yeah, but that was because that's the the best that they can do without inflicting too much damage. Because if they were punching each other in the face, there'd be blood and broken bones and black eyes. Like WWE's like, we can't have that.
I wish though. I really wish.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically at the end of this, I'm glad that Shayna won. I'm glad that Ronda let her win and kind of put her over. If this is the last that we see of Ronda ever or for a while, I'm fine with it. I just don't know that this really catapulted Shayna into a position where they thought it was going to. You know what I mean?
I think it did. I think it not elevate her into like a championship level position, but it brought her back from being just a side lackey. That she is her own person. She's still dominant. She can, have good matches or whatever. And it gives just somebody else more depth in that roster. I'm trying to. They're on SmackDown. I still am right. She on SmackDown?
No, they were on Raw.
Good. So that even strengthens my point even more.
I think, right? I think, I think they were showing up on both. Maybe they're free agents. I don't know.
I think we'll go with Raw for the for the argument.
Let me see.
Because I'm not after this draft. My mind's still fucked up a little bit.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up and see if it tells me. She's on Raw. Okay.
Boom. Look at that. It adds more depth to the Raw women's division, which was desperately needed. So I love it. And maybe she doesn't face Rhea right off the bat, but doesn't need to.
No, because it's going to be Raquel. I hope.
It is. And maybe we get Shayna with other stuff. Maybe we get a couple of weeks of squash matches from Shayna.
More squash matches.
Squash matches.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else to say, so I'm just gonna move
on.
I
don't either. I finished my bathroom.
Okay. Then we have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. I have to say, when Gunther won this match, I happy clapped. Like
this.
Yes, I was so excited because I was getting nervous. I felt so bad though because my nephew, for some reason, decided he hates Imperium. And I know
what a doofus.
I know. And so he's sitting there and he loves Drew because Drew has a sword. So he's like, he's so cool.
You know what? That's a smart kid. I take my doofus comment back. That kid is following anyone with a sword. That's good awareness.
He was like about to cry because Gunther was winning and then Gunther won. He was like so upset. And I was just like, mind you guys, he's only like 5, so he doesn't completely understand wrestling at this point. But I, on the other hand, I'm sitting there happy clapping, like rubbing it in his face almost, like the proud aunt that I am.
Screw you, screw Drew.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this is exactly what I thought was going to happen between these two. This is the match I figured we would get. So I don't feel like one way or the other. This is what I wanted and what I expected, and I'm glad that Gunther won.
It was a hard hitting match. This was your classic. Where is it? 1, 2, 3. It was your classic
big meaty man slapping meat.
Just that's what our favorite type of wrestling is sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you need from these two, and they delivered. I mean, you don't have to go into it. Those chops were just so vicious, and I mean, when they hit him and they fall down from it, it gives you like a more emphasis on how hard it is. Because I mean, if Mustafa Ali is getting smacked by it, yeah, I mean, even I could with his weight. But these are big, meaty men and slapping each other's meat and falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
So I was happy with the fact that they are hopefully planning on having Gunther become the longest reigning champion.
Oh, you have to.
I was thinking that, they still could have him and McIntyre have another match. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if McIntyre is the one that takes the title from him, because they were like, it's been 13 years since McIntyre held the IC title. And I was like, God damn it. Because when they said that, I was like, you just ruined this, Cole. Now I know they're taking it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the next pay-per-view, it'll still be, he still won't have broken the record. So if it's going to be McIntyre, it's not going to be at the next one. So I would assume not, because it would be like literally within days that he would break the record. So it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many they've had of their just singles matches, because usually
I think it's just one.
Oh, that's good. Then they can stop it. They can.
Yeah, because they had the triple threat at Mania, and then McIntyre was gone. So this was their first one. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think that I mean, it's possible that they'll continue it. I mean, I feel like the matches will still be good, but I kind of feel like there's not a whole lot more that they can do that's going to be that different from what we've already seen from them. But I don't know. I mean, it with Gunther, it's kind of like they don't have him in really long feuds with anybody, because he's just wanting to defend the title against as many people as possible, basically.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
So I really wouldn't be surprised if it is, and ends up being somebody completely different, because there are some people who believe that maybe it'll be like Chad Gable. So
is Hockey Talk Man dead?
No, nope. He was Chris Van Vliet ran into him, I think, this weekend. So
we need some sort of ceremony with him, and it ends up like it finishes with Gunther slapping the shit out of Hockey Talk Man across the chest.
I think he's too old for that.
I don't care. That's what wrestling is.
He'd like kill him. He'd like slap him like in the chest, and his heart would stop.
He could sell it. He's cool. He's cocky. He's bad.
Okay. Ew. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that it looks like we're going to see Gunther become the longest reigning champion. So
he's a Hockey Talk Man.
I also don't believe this. He's still signed.
I disagree too.
He's still signed for a while. So
yeah, I don't acknowledge.
I saw people saying this last night too, but no, I don't believe that's happening.
No.
Let's see.
I don't think we have any other comments about this. So
okay, all right.
I got it.
Moving on. Oh, baby.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, I'm gonna let you just go off, because I see the end goal and understand why they did it, or at least I think I do. And I don't feel as strongly about this as you do. So because of that, go off, girl.
All right. So Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. I just. The history between these two, like, first you have Finn coming out with 7 written on his shoulder with the scar that he had.
That was amazing detail.
I know. And I'm just like, okay. Then you have Seth come out and he reveals that he's wearing the same vest that he wore with his gear in that match in 2016. And I'm just like,
oh, that's what it was?
Yes, it was the vest from his gear. Yeah. He wasn't wearing the same pants, but his pants.
That's why I was confused, because it was different colors.
Yeah, no, that's why he revealed it, and that's why he threw it at Finn also when they were being introduced. So
he's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's petty like that.
I love
So as far as the match goes, the quality of the match, I think it was the best match of the night. And maybe I'm biased, but I do think that it was the best match of the night from just like beginning to end. But I'm like, I don't want to go on a super long rant, but
no, go off. We have time.
I'm still really frustrated over the fact that they decided that this was not the opportunity to make Finn the champion. I feel like all of the momentum was on his side. I even think people were a little bit shocked that Seth won. Like, he got cheers, but it kind of felt a little delayed because I don't think that people thought that that was going to happen. And when that many people think something is going to happen, like, that's crazy, especially when it's the heel. Like, you know, when it was Cody against Roman at Mania, a lot of people thought that Roman was done, that Cody was going to win, but that was because everybody loves Cody. So it's like it's a different thing, different there.
Vibe, yeah. You were just everyone was just trying to be right because like, oh, it's his time and all this,
yeah,
and yeah.
And it just felt like this was the perfect place. Like we said, it was like a callback from 7 years ago at SummerSlam. It was for a title, the two against each other. Like, everything felt like it was in place. And so, other than the fact that he lost, which irritates me, I'm irritated even more at how he lost because of Damian Priest. And I understand, you know, we assumed whether or not Finn won or lost that there was going to be some sort of dynamic shift in the Judgment Day because of either becoming champion and Damian having the briefcase and being like, ha ha ha, like, I'm over your shoulder. Or if he lost, then it would be at the hands of somebody like Damian Priest, and that's what happened. So there's going to be some turmoil there. Fine. But when asked about Finn's trajectory from before, like leading up to SummerSlam and after, Triple H basically was making it seem like, oh, well, now we have the question of like, what's going to happen with Finn and Damian? And I'm like, I don't give a shit at this point, because now are you saying that he's completely out of the title picture now? Like, now we're just going to shift our focus to he's going to only be caring about Damian now? Because he had nothing to say about him still going for the title, having another one with Seth. And this is the thing, because of all of the aspects of this, like wearing the vest that he wore and the 7 on his shoulder, like, it just felt like this was the match to have him win. So now if you're gonna have it, what's the next one? Payback? Sure, maybe I guess Finn could win, but I don't know that it's going to be as satisfying, and it kind of just feels like the moment has passed. So it's like,
what if he's not going for the title anymore, and he's right about it's Finn and Damian? But it's because they're like, you have to have Damian now with a little bit of focus because he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He can cash in whenever. And now you have that dynamic of Finn knowing that, Finn not being able to get the job done, especially with how it all went down. He called for Damian to help him and finish the job with the briefcase, and Finn failed. So now Finn, it's Damian's turn. Like, he's like, I can't help you, and I can't keep helping you if this is going to be the result.
But
so
Damian
I gotta focus for myself.
Damian's the reason why he lost.
Finn is the reason. Finn screwed Finn. Okay.
Finn's plan to have Damian help him failed, and is why he lost. Damian's attempt at trying to distract the referee with the briefcase in the ring far away from Finn is what led to Finn losing. So, but the thing is as great as this could be, as great as this story between Finn and Damian could be, I don't care yet. Because one, I don't want to see the end of the Judgment Day yet. Even, I think it was Paul Heyman, or maybe it was Triple H. Maybe it's Triple H, who was saying exactly what we've been saying for I don't even know how long, that the Judgment Day is basically equivalent to the Bloodline on Raw. So, and I'm just saying, Triple H agreed with us. Basically, he's a fan of the show.
Oh, so,
I would hate for them to break that up, because like even though the bloodline has kind of dispersed, it's something that's been going on for 3 years. So I feel like, okay, it's fine. Like if it's kind of like going through this weird transition phase, we just literally hit a year of the Judgment Day. So it's like it's a little early to be doing this. Plus, did you see JD McDonough's tweet?
I did not see it. Let me go look at it right now.
All right. So after Finn lost, JD McDonough quotes tweeted and said, Finn deserves better.
Oh.
So a little Easter egg there about what could potentially be happening on Raw. Maybe JD is going to be like, oh, let me just join with my fellow Irishmen. Maybe I'm going to join Judgment Day. Maybe we're going to try and kick Damian out. Maybe there's going to be a split. Maybe Finn's going to leave Judgment Day. I don't know. But
and that's what they're trying to do. They don't need a title to do this.
I don't agree with it. I still think that he does. This is the thing. Think about this. If Finn doesn't win the title now, he's never winning the title. They're never going to give him the championship if he doesn't win it now. It's never happening. I agree. I agree with myself because this is the closest that he has been to becoming champion basically since 2016. So,
but it's not about him. The story.
But the Finn and Seth story is about Finn. And now we're saying, because of the hands of somebody else, he's now not going to go for the title because now he's going to be focusing on something else. But like he never, like I just feel like it's not fair. It's not fair. I didn't like it.
I agree, it's not fair. But my view on it right now is that Seth, you need to have Seth have a good first run with it. What they're trying to do is mimic the reign of terror that Triple H had with his world title reign and kind of do it with Seth Rollins. So if they're going to do that, fine, whatever. Okay, now what do you do about Finn? Well, Finn and Damian being in Judgment Day together, both wanting to be the top guy to take the title. More Finn because he wanted to take it from Seth. Damian just wants an opportunity with it. And now that Damian has pretty much any chance he wants, that is got to kill Finn inside, and he feels like he can't trust him. He's going to go into that psycho heel mentality, kind of dark Judgment Day. Who is a very dark person like Finn, a little bit of an Irish asshole? It is JD McDonough. So I like that. And if that's the way I want them to go with this, and I could give a shit about the title because we disagree with one of the, I think the consistent things we disagree with on the show is that the title doesn't really mean anything in certain situations.
Yes, we do disagree because I do think that you only get a window of opportunity, and I think this was Finn's time. And it wasn't something that was going to diminish Seth's reign. It wasn't something that was going to diminish the value of the World Heavyweight Championship. But I just don't know that Finn is going to have another opportunity. Not to mention, dude is 42 years old. So they're not going to be like, yeah, he's 47. Let's finally give him the title.
They did to Bobby Lashley.
Okay, but does Bobby Lashley look like he's nearing 50?
Does Finn look like he's 42?
No, but I'm saying like
here we go.
It's still different. So I don't know. I'm still irritated about it, and I can still talk about it. So, but I don't want to anymore. So let's move on to the women's.
This was my favorite match of the night. I think this would be my favorite match of the night.
So Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair for the women's championship. This was a long match. I believe they said it was the longest non-WrestleMania women's match ever in WWE on a pay-per-view, I think, or on SummerSlam, something like that.
They took they were the ones who took Trish and Becky's time.
Yes, partially yes, because then also Roman and Jay. I think I would assume bell to bell it was 36 minutes. Because also it took what?
I'm agreeing with your point. Keep going.
It took Roman 5 minutes to get into the ring and to be done with his entrance. So I would assume that doesn't account inside the 36-minute match. I'm assuming it was a 41. It was longer than that.
And you have to think of Jay's entrance too, because he was going like this for a while.
Yeah. So
it was an hour. They had an hour. They had an hour.
Yeah. So I think it was part of that as well. This match, I think I was a little surprised about it, honestly. I'll let you talk first because I feel like I've just been talking a lot.
No, this would be that's a good place for me to chime in because I love this match bell to bell. I wasn't as excited for it. I was just ready for it is a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But then once they got in the ring together and the chemistry they had, I'm a big fan of when you do man or woman matches, the quickness of moves, bouncing off each other and the chemistry you have off the ropes. They were fantastic with their little, clothesline into this and then this move into that, and everything kind of built on one another. And I loved that element of it because they're three fantastic wrestlers, and the element of, they could legitimately put the title on any one of these. I have legitimately no idea. So that element of surprise was good too. I do want to say that Bianca scared me. She ribbed me there, or whatever you want to call it, with her injury.
I didn't
Selling
believe it.
that.
Yeah.
I thought she was really injured. You
I
didn't
know.
believe it?
No, I was.
Oh, I knew. I thought something happened until she hit the steps. When she went down, I had a feeling that when she went down and made that noise with the steps, I feel like that was like whatever. But the way she sold it, I was like, oh wow. So it was a crap.
Yeah, I think I mean I completely understand why people thought it did. My sister thought something was wrong. All of Twitter thought that something was wrong. I just felt like if it was legitimate, it would have been handled differently by like the health people and
It
the
would have,
doctors and
and
stuff.
she wouldn't have came back to hit probably one of my favorite moves of the night, the
Yeah.
450 during the figure eight. Oh my god, how clean was that? I thought she was winning there. I thought she was going to win it there.
Yeah, and it's like there were moments in this match that weren't great, and that's the thing that I have a problem with is that people hyper focus on that. And I think it is especially highlighted within women's matches, which I think is unfair because
I would have to, reluctantly agree.
Yeah. And I think that, there's plenty of times that it happens in men's matches too. I mean, LA Knight and Sheamus were just getting ripped to shit on SmackDown because of their botch or whatever. Which they
call back with to finish the match. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. I love that they got their like second chance moment in the Battle Royal. But anyway, I didn't like that aspect because again, like you could probably pick out a botch or whatever in every single match last night. It's not like it was limited to the women's match, So I felt like there were plenty of great moments in this match. My main disappointment, of course, is that Asuka didn't win. Just because, like I said when we were doing our predictions, it seems silly to have had her take the title off of Bianca to only have it for 40 days and then have it taken off just because of the title reign that Bianca was on. It was historic. And so it seems kind of pointless to have had the title taken off of her if you were going to take it off literally a pay-per-view and a half later. I do like how it ended though, because Asuka wasn't pinned, was she? She was. Was it Charlotte? It was Charlotte.
Nope. Yes, it was Charlotte who was pinned.
Okay.
And so that's why you're leading into my
Yeah, so I do like that because then that leaves the door open for her and Bianca to have something. And then of course we know Io Sky came in.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that comment.
Holy moly.
No, not that comment. Where was it? Not that one. Oh, he said no, that was the one. I thought.
Okay.
Never mind. It was not stupid.
I loved it so much. And just to circle in my nephew again, my nephew is obsessed with Io Sky. He picks the most random wrestlers to be obsessed with. It's like Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes, and Io Sky are like his top favorites right now. But now he also likes Valhalla, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? So that's what I mean. Like it's very random. So when Io won, I ran out and let him see her celebrating because he was going to bed and he was very excited. Yeah. So I loved that. That was the thing too. That made me okay with Bianca winning and then Bianca quickly losing because I love the idea of a triple threat, but even between Asuka, Io, and Bianca. I love a Bianca Io feud. I love a Io Asuka feud. So like that has me more excited.
Yeah.
But then I still have the disappointment of Asuka losing, like in the back of my mind. Like that is still there, even if I am excited about what can happen.
And this is back to my point of how the belt doesn't make the wrestler makes the belt. You get Asuka to be champion. She's holding it great. There's procedure element. To not have her get pinned, and the way Io came out, they go right after Charlotte and Bianca to really solidify they're dead serious about this. And then to have her, or the Io and I'm sorry, not Charlotte and Asuka go after them to get them out of the equation. And then to cash in, there wasn't no bullshit of like, yes, I'm wanting to 5 minutes later. Yes, I want to. It was just like,
shout out Jessica Carr for
Jessica Carr with ultimate business. She got it. She's like, you sure? Got the yes, turned around, cashed it in. There was no hesitation. We love that. And then it was just the one moonsault into that. And then Dakota Kai coming back in. And this is where I loved it the most, Sarah, because the bells went off, everything started to click. That this was this was a moment for Damage Control, and it was in full circle moment from SummerSlam a year ago where they returned, and they returned right after Bianca won, the same reaction, and then you have Io and Bayley come out, destroy the women in front of them, and then they win, and a year later, they're on top of the women's division, even with Dakota Kai being injured. Yep. It didn't matter. She found her way in the ring too to celebrate. And the picture that WWE on Fox tweeted out of them watching Io hold up the title, it made me happy because I love Damage Control. They were such a great faction, and everyone wanted them to split up, including myself at some points. And I'm happy that they can coexist and it not be all about the title. They'll have friendly competition for the title, all that, but at the end of the day, they're going to be a family. It was awesome. I loved it.
They did do the press conference together, all three of them, and somebody asked Io if the title is hers and Bayley's, and then she was like, yes, and then Dakota was like, kind of like, what about me? And then it was like, it's all of ours. So I was like, oh, it's like Lay Cool all over again, So I thought that was cool too, because Bayley has been specifically right alongside Io the entire time. So and obviously was a huge help in making sure that she won the title at SummerSlam. So I thought that was cool. And then I don't know if you saw, Dakota is she said she's still far from being cleared for the in-ring stuff, but because she is recovering from a torn ACL, but she said that she's already like doing squats and pushing sleds and whatever. She tore her ACL in May.
That's incredible.
I know. I'm like, what the hell? So I don't know that. I don't think that her return is imminent, but I think it might be a lot sooner than maybe people.
And she can do a lot of backstage stuff too,
but she might want to wait. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like things where it's like a tease. Yeah. Is there any comments before we get to the main event?
Let me check. So,
it doesn't have to be about just this.
No, I know. Okay. Well, yeah, Finn will go and leave Judgment Day. Finn and Priest at Payback for Money in the Bank briefcase in a ladder match.
Oh my god, that could be Finn getting. Oh my god, what if Finn got the Money in the Bank briefcase and that's like the ultimate revenge, being like, you took my championship away and I'm gonna take your money. Why am I singing? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
So excited. The sound of music just came out of you like Julie Andrews in the field. Yes. You're just so like, yeah.
Oh my god, but I'm like genuinely embarrassed. Like my cheeks are pink.
That was awesome.
So he could
I was just so
that could be his way of being like, oh, I'm gonna take back my opportunity. I mean, that's fantasy booking though, right? Is that It feels like
we'll have to do some fantasy booking after this. It's probably a little bit better than what we've talked about already.
But I do love this because if Finn won, even if we're fantasy booking, I don't care because it's fun. Finn versus Priest at Payback, Money in the Bank on a ladder, right? Okay, Finn gets the briefcase. That would be his way of like getting revenge and getting his title opportunity back. But then it could also still I guess have this feud with Damian. But I still hate the idea of it because I don't want Judgment Day to break up. So I would love JD McDonough though because 2 Irishmen.
We love Irishmen on this podcast or show. Whatever.
Yes, we do. So I would be very excited.
You are like swooning right now. This is incredible.
Well, I just love Finn, I don't have 3 Funkos of him for no reason.
That's true. Hey, Raw 94.
Hey, Raw 94. He's a viewer from my Patriot stuff.
I'm so tired of Bianca.
Says, I'm so tired of Bianca. Wait. You know what? The Suit Profits just turned heel. What if Bianca turns heel?
Sara, I love the way your mind works. I think the same thing. It's inevitable.
Okay. This is the thing. It's like it's where I get stuck with Bianca because Bianca is so good. Like unfairly good. I mean, even to the point of Cody Rhodes when he was talking about, someone asked him about what it was like, when he first came back and he got a picture with Bianca. He basically said that this is Bianca's company. Like, this is Bianca's women's division. And so, like, that'll tell you, like, this is a guy who wasn't in the company yet, and he was so blown away by Bianca. Like, and that's just Cody Rhodes. But I'm just saying, like, clearly she's making an impact. So, I have no problems with her in that regard, but I do think that like her character is kind of stale, and I think that's why a heel turn would be good for her. I just am concerned about whether or not they would actually do it, and that's because something that she's mentioned about her community work and whatever. It's not always the best, but I mean Rhea Ripley does so many like fan appearances and stuff, and it's like she shouldn't be, right? Her and Dominic. Did you see the video of the little boy pushing Dominic away?
Everybody loves mommy.
But that's what I mean. Like, they're heels though. You're supposed to hate them, and yet they're always doing fan signings and appearances and doing this and that. So I do think it's possible for Bianca to be able to balance that, because you don't have to be like, if you're gonna be a character that's a bitch, you don't have to be a bitch and to the fans.
Yeah, like look at Chelsea Green. If you see Chelsea online and if her in life, she's not like a Karen. She's just she's Chelsea Green. So
exactly. So I think it could be good, and I do agree. I do think that Asuka does need to have a good title reign. I don't understand how this woman was the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion who didn't go pinned for this long, and then on the main roster she's just an everyday other chick. Like, I just don't. I don't get it.
Shayna Baszler went through the same treatment too. So
yeah.
Finn has been pretty lackluster as of late. Judgment Day at the moment is really Rhea and Dom stable. Although a surprise title change would have been great, I just can't buy Seth and Finn as heavyweight champion. Okay, well that's your opinion.
I don't want to get into this for guys in MMA. We all have. Yeah, I'm glad you have that. I just don't agree.
It's just he's not two different shows. That's just
he's
what I'm
just
saying.
Well, there's a lot of people who think that way of Finn, that think that Finn was kind of like the fourth wheel in Judgment Day. I don't agree. I do think that especially this feud with Seth has definitely projected him forward. You could almost argue that he's doing way more than any of the others are at this point. So, but yeah.
Roman looks like a world heavyweight champion. There are a lot of similarities between him and Hulk Hogan, so I'll leave it there. And then my whole prediction was messed up about triple threat match, but I'm happy EO won. Yeah, I think that was a lot of people, Bernard, that a lot of
this is a match I got wrong.
Yeah, this is a match that I got wrong too. I did not think that they were going to cash in. I would have liked to see EO hold it a little bit more, but it makes sense why they did it too, because of how often they were throwing him in, and even Bailey with the little Easter egg if you were tuning in to Twitter. So
well, and remember there was all these rumors that the woman was going to cash in and it was going to be a failure. So that was a huge thing too, because we were going off of that rumor.
That's right.
So when we were talking about, oh, is Io going to cash in? We were like, I don't know. It depends on who it is and like who would she lose to, because we just assumed that because it had been floated online so much that was what was going to happen. So had we known that maybe she had the possibility of actually becoming champion, then we may have predicted that she would have cashed in on SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But
that's why you can't read everything online as like it's true. You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
If they have Io lose a payback, I swear I'll riot. Honestly, me too. I'll be kind of pissed, to be honest. Yeah. Unless it's to Bailey.
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think so either, but I would like, that'd be the only way I wouldn't riot, because I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting some inner turmoil shit. I love that. But yeah, no. I was in a chat on Twitter and she literally cried that Asuka lost. That is sad.
I understand. I haven't cried over a loss. I think the only time I did, which I talked about, was when Cena lost to The Rock. I think that's the only time I've ever cried about.
Oh, mine was Undertaker losing the streak, because I did not know how to feel emotion like at all, and tears just came down my face, because I was like, my childhood is over. Like things end, and it's like, it was a real personal little moment we had there.
You're like a 4-year-old, like
I was in high
you were
school.
a fetus. I was joking. I was making a joke.
I know, but I'm saying that to you. What were you like? I'm not even gonna answer that. So yeah, go on.
I don't know what year it was.
I don't.
What year? What year did the Undertaker lose? Let me see. What year did the Undertaker lose his Mania
2014
streak?
2014 makes sense.
So that would have been.
It was 2014.
Okay, so then I would have been 23, 24.
Oh, the age I feel now.
24.
Yeah, I feel mentally 24, so
I feel stuck at like 17, so it's okay. All right, let's get into the main event. Look at these people coming in for us. 2014.
That's what the peeps do. They help out their champ, and the champ helps them back. We love it.
I should have just checked with them instead of checking Google. But
I waited for them to say it. I knew it. I count on you guys.
All right, now we're gonna get into like an 80-minute conversation about Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
Buckle up, because this is gonna go over.
First of all, we learned the proper name of the necklace, and now I can't remember. It's like, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to. Yeah, something Fala. I don't want to say it's like Ula Fala or something. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
So I do love that Roman was like, if you win, I put this on you, nobody else. Like, and so I thought that was cool.
I was
that.
Like, yes.
It also was interesting, right? Because we're supposed to believe that Roman is very confident. He knows that he's not going to lose, but the fact that he even discussed the potential of him losing was interesting, because it was like, oh, it makes him a little human.
It might actually do it, or like it might actually do this thing.
Yes. Also, I just want to say kudos to Roman Reigns. He looked really good last night. Moving on.
Nice job.
Yes.
Gotta let him know.
Yeah, gotta let him know. Also, wait, we didn't discuss this. Oh my god, the end of Brock with his friggin' shorts all ripped open?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh my god, I was so thrown off. I still don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened. I'm like, how are your shorts all open? I didn't get it either.
I did not understand it.
I'm still confused, but thank God he had like proper undergarments on, because that would have been a hot mess. If it was just like a jock strap or something. Holy moly. But anyway, okay, moving on. We knew that this was going to be a long match, so I was prepared for that. And I think that, some people felt like it went too long. I don't think it went too long. I felt like it was telling so much of a story that it had to be as long as it was. I love the usage of weapons, because
Oh, you need to not absolutely.
Yeah, there was tables, there were chairs, there were
they gave what the fans wanted. They were like, we want tables. Well, it's the first thing he brought out, tables.
Yep. And yeah, it was just a lot of going on. Solo obviously comes out. They're going through the audience, which I'm like, can you imagine those people? Like, those types of things used to be just for like the lower mid carders, kind of the ones that would like wrestle in the that close to people anyway. It's never really like, I mean, it is, but not often is it like a John Cena, Roman Reigns, you know what I mean? Like, so I can't imagine, because when I had people wrestling on me, it was John Morrison and R-Truth, and John Morrison's body was on my shoes. So yeah, I was like, hey. Yeah. And so, yeah, then we see Solo and, okay. But then we got that interesting twist of they were going to do the Solo, the Samoan spike followed by the spear. But Jay moves out of the way and spears Solo, who then is pissed at Roman. And I was like, oh, shit, is this happening now? This can't be happening now.
Can't be happening.
And I'm so thankful it did not happen, because no, we couldn't have Solo turn on Roman. And then I love that he like kind of teased it, but then he went right back into beating the shit out of his brother, and I was like, yep, see, that's what we needed. And then the match is going. Paul Heyman is just ridiculous, and then we get a masked man come in and beat up Jay, and then I was like, who is that? And that's my sister and I are watching it, right? And I was like, who is it? I was like, is that Jimmy? And I was like, no way, it's too skinny to be Jimmy. And then it ends up being Jimmy, and we're both like, he's too skinny to be Jimmy. How is it Jimmy?
Black is a slimming color.
I know. And so to an extent,
lost words.
So when it first happened, I was really confused, and I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. I felt like, other than the fact that I felt Roman was going to win anyway, if there was a possibility of Jay winning, I felt like it wasn't going to happen without Jimmy there. So I wasn't shocked to then see Jimmy there, and obviously in the capacity that he did. But at the same time, I'm like 110% here for it, because I think there's multiple ways they can go about this. So everyone's immediate thing. Well, let me see. What was your reaction before I get into my hypothetical?
I was so mind fucked by this. I'm not gonna lie, Sarah. I did not expect them to pull the Jimmy trigger.
Yeah.
This early.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that we were gonna see at least him dethrone Roman, and have my nice little theory of Roman coming back like 2 weeks or 2 months later. I mean, and him not even caring about the title. He just wants the tribal chief title back. And that would have been a perfect way to do it. But now that you throw Jimmy into this, and then what was said in the press conference, every little emotion and thought that I had when it was happening, I don't really have that anymore, because I thought this was going to be a lot sooner than it is apparently going to be. And then I read the report too, or the tweet, that a WWE source said the Roman's title reign will end whenever Paul and Roman fucking say it is. So
Paul went into lengthy detail kind of about how they came up with this whole bloodline situation. He said that Roman was the only reason why he decided that he wasn't done, basically, in wrestling. Because he said after Brock Lesnar, he was like, I didn't care about doing anything else. Like, there was nothing for me to do. Like, how do I have this historic run with Brock Lesnar and then follow that up with something else? And he said, but it is what you're seeing right now is exactly why I'm here for Roman Reigns. And he said that they discussed all of the different things that they've wanted to do, 3 years ago when this idea was floated, and about how they wanted to make it more cinematic, and that there was going to be these backstage segments that kind of felt like a movie, and it wasn't all just going to be stuff that was happening in the ring or like in the backstage area. It was going to be hence why they have like the locker room set up and the couches and whatever. And what you alluded to, in case people did not see, when someone asked about like, where do you see the bloodline going, like where are we, he said what inning are we in, is what he said. And Paul said the bottom of the third. So if you guys are familiar with baseball, the bottom of the third is like the first half, like the first quarter.
That's
like
the first quarter.
It's the first quarter. So it's like this story is far from done. So and that was the gut feeling that I had, and that's why I've been saying, I think for so long, that I felt like it's going to be Solo. If it's a bloodline member, I'm saying it's Solo, and that's why, because I feel like we're not done yet. There's so much left to tell, and with this, I think Roman's on vacation. He posted a picture of himself on.
That was awesome, so super villain-esque.
Yeah, and he's not scheduled for any shows for months at this point, which obviously is going to change. I think that it's just best for them to not announce anything yet, because they probably don't know exactly what they're going to do and if they're going to need him. But I do think that there's multiple ways they can take this, because I think most people are saying, oh, okay, now we're going to see Jimmy versus Jay. I think that's one scenario that we can see, and they talked about how that was a dream of theirs to face off against each other, because it would remind them of when they were kids and wrestling, in the backyard or in the living room, whatever. And obviously that's like the easiest thing. But I also think that this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to feud, because we know that Jimmy said to Jay straight up to his face, I don't want you to be the next tribal chief. Like, I don't want you to be a tribal chief right now.
Yeah,
and
he
so
did say that.
So him coming in and making sure that Jay doesn't become the next tribal chief, I don't think that that's necessarily something about Jimmy having ill will towards Jay. He can say that he's looking out for him. Like, I don't think you want all of these responsibilities. I don't want you to become what Roman's become. I don't want this life for you. You don't need to be the tribal chief to feel like you've overcome what Roman has done to you, to me, whatever. Like, I think there's a way that they can go about it where it doesn't have to necessarily be a feud. But when considering that Roman is not scheduled for things, Payback is the next name of the next pay-per-view. It kind of looks like it's going to be Jimmy Jay facing each other, because even if Jimmy comes at it like, I wasn't trying to do something malicious, I was trying to look out for you, Jay doesn't have to accept it. You know what I mean? So it's like they can still kind of like intertwine this, so there's not like a lot of negativity there.
And it's not like I'm turning on you. I hate you. It's like, nah, bro, you're my bro. Like, I did this so you could be protected, and and he said in the always looking out for little brother me. Always what's best. Be like your brother. All that, like. And it's the little nuances that you.
That's what I mean.
Connect. It's like, all right, fine.
It could be very much a situation where Jimmy has to explain himself, and then he does, and so you're like, oh, you understand his situation, and you're like, yeah, like, I'm with you. I don't think he wants to do that. We don't want to see Jay turn into Roman. But Jay's not going to accept it. He's going to be pissed at it. He's not going to believe him, blah, 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 which leads to this. And then Jimmy's like, I don't really want to do this and whatever. Because Jimmy, I would assume, is not going to be on Roman's side. We're not seeing that revert. I don't think that's a concern. But yeah, it kind of feels like maybe if Roman is gone, this is going to be the feud that kind of like dominates SmackDown now in the meantime. But I also don't know that Roman's going to be gone for like a really extended amount of time. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine that Fox was cool with that.
Because I don't think it'll be that gone for that long.
Yeah, because I think, they are unhappy about not having title defenses on the network, but at least they were getting the champion appear.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he's just going to be like, bye for a month or two. Like, I don't think so. But yeah, I think a lot can come out of this. Yes, we know.
Let him know, Bernard. Let him know.
Yeah. So how do you think about this? What do you think about the Solo situation? Do you think that it's looking better and better that Solo could possibly be the ones to dethrone him after this match? Or do you think it's still Jay?
I don't know anymore. I really
think
don't.
it could. I feel like it could be both. It could be either of them at this point.
Oh, it could. Yeah, I'm not. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm not swaying one side or the other. I'm just. I really didn't expect them to throw Jimmy this early on. I thought they would have waited. Yeah, I good for you. I really want to try and give hypotheticals and whatnot, but after seeing this, they have a plethora of different things in their back pocket that they can throw out there and utilize. And it could go to Mania. It really could.
I think
I
it
feel
is.
I feel like for a long time people were saying, how can they continue the bloodline until the next Mania?
We were saying that.
I think I'm not going to say I didn't say it. I probably did on this. There's probably evidence on your YouTube channel, Sara Marshall XO, that we said this.
Yep.
I just don't know anymore. I don't, and I don't care. I'm not mad. I just give me the popcorn then. I'll put in a nice little visual for the peeps. If you're gonna do this and you're gonna say, "Oh, but wait, there's more," and give us these twists and turns, then just feed me the popcorn so I can sit and watch it unfold. Because I don't want to predict this. As crazy as it sounds, as what we do here is make predictions and analyze. I don't want to anymore. Yeah. If you're gonna put on the best story in wrestling and make it as top-notch, Hollywood over the top, while still having that wrestling element to it, where it's the lineage and the Samoan stuff, then fucking just ride. I'm in.
Well, and it's crazy. It's been 3 years, and we're still not
done.
I know, and we're not sick of it. I mean, I'm sure there are some people, but I think those are people who weren't really fans of any of them to begin with.
They don't like good storytelling. Well, they want shit fed to them with a spoon.
I mean, maybe, but I also think that there's probably people out there who didn't care for the Usos or Roman beforehand, because that's just how it is. Like, people aren't going to be fans of the same people. But yeah, I think if you're a fan of professional wrestling and storytelling, it's kind of crazy to think that you could be sick of this, because we do try, as you said, to predict and talk about what we think is going to happen and what shouldn't happen. And I think the most fun thing about the bloodline is that I don't think we've gotten any predictions right. I don't think anything that we've predicted about what they were going to do with the bloodline has been right, because and that's the thing. There are some instances where I'm not happy about that, because there are things where I was like, man, they should have done that, or man, they shouldn't have done that. But it's also nice because for so long we were complaining about how predictable WWE programming was. And this is one thing where I think every single week we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that you kind of have to embrace that, because otherwise
you're going to get mad.
Yeah. And then it could go back to how it was, and then we could be complaining about that. So
that's the thing. And that's that, line you try to toe is you want to be right. But if you're right too much, then the product's getting stale and predictable. And, it's why watch it if you know what the outcome's going to be. And if you keep getting things wrong, then you're like, this is not what I signed up for. So but they've done such a great job at, I didn't get that right at all, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it, but okay, I can see what they're doing with this. Or even if I don't, they're going to tell us. There's going to be an answer or some direction in where we're going the next show. So fine, I'm fine with it. That's the beauty of the bloodline and why it continues to be the best story in wrestling, is because you feel like you're legitimately watching your favorite show on Netflix or Hulu, whatever streaming service, week to week, and have that feeling of, I cannot predict this.
So I did want to mention one thing, because I just thought of it. So if it's going to be a bloodline member, and let's say that it is Jay, the setbacks that he's going through on the way to becoming the tribal chief, or even just getting the title, whatever, it's kind of like what I meant for Cody. Like, I want to see more of these types of setbacks for Cody too on his way to the championship. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if Jay does end up being the one to dethrone Roman eventually, even if it's at WrestleMania, there's going to be plenty of times between now and then where he's going to lose. Like, he just lost this match, you know, and all the momentum was on his side because he was the first one to pin Roman in 3 years. And everyone assumed that he was going to do this. I mean, like I said, even Roman was like, if you win, I'm going to put this on your neck, you know, no one else. So this is just what I was hoping. I would like to see more with Cody, because it's not going to be fun to just keep seeing Cody win after win after win after win.
Exactly.
You know, like, you need to see him lose, and maybe he does lose a feud overall, and then he has to like recollect himself and figure out where to go from here. You know, it doesn't have to be the best of 3 and he wins 2 of the 3, because that's still not fun.
No, it's not.
Like,
yeah.
So that's what I was meaning. I just kind of want to see more of that. Like, I feel like they're doing a good job. If Jay is going to be the one that dethrones Roman, I think they're doing a good job about like making it difficult for him.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely agree with that.
So that was SummerSlam.
That was SummerSlam, baby. That was it. That was the show. That was a great show. I'd give it a nice 8.5.
Yeah. I said, like, I think Chris Van Vliet posted a poll on his YouTube, and he asked to grade it like A, B, C, D. I said a B.
Yeah. I think it's like 83, 84. It was a great show because it did everything. It kept me entertained. It had a nice variety of matches. All the winners weren't predictable.
I got 6 out of 8 right.
Good for you.
I know. I wish I was 7 out of 8, but that's okay. The 7 would have been Finn. So, because I got Finn wrong and Asuka wrong.
Yeah, that's tough for the Finn one.
I know. I would have been fine with predicting a different one wrong, you know. But it is what it is. I guess we'll have to see what happens on Raw.
We'll have to see what happens Monday. I am excited.
I am ready.
Ready to rumble. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. All right. That's the show. That's what we got. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And to take no nights off with us, head over to Sara's YouTube channel if you haven't already. Sara Marshall XO. That's where we have all our videos, our past live streams. And if you don't have an hour and 27 minutes and 24 seconds to sit with us in the entirety of the program, then you can just look at the clips in the archives. You don't want to hear us talking about the SummerSlam Battle Royal or Shane and Ronda. Well, don't worry, because you can hear, pick and choose what you want to watch down in the clips. And for everywhere else where you can follow us, you know what? How about you just check that link below in the description where you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. We're on the tick of the talk, so go check that out. And that's all I got before I head down to the underground. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you on Tuesday.